Hello, everybody. It's the Film Optimist. Today I'm talking about the Twilight Saga New Moon. And then this film happened. I was pumped for this flick, hot off of reading the entire saga. Went out to the theater with my brother, and fuck, was I embarrassed to be a fan at that point. In hindsight, this is probably the worst entry in the series story wise. Why does Edward leave? I know he doesn't want to hurt Bella, but his strategy in keeping her safe is the stupidest thing ever. But yeah, he leaves. Enter Jacob Black, who was in the first movie, but now he's a werewolf, shapeshifter, whatever. They're all Indian wolves. That's 2013. I said Indian. They're natives. They're Native Americans. They're all Native American wolves. They don't say Indians in the fucking book. What the hell? Q, Team Edward versus Team Jacob. I hated that about the series. Pick a side. I already knew what happened, so there wasn't a point. Um, anyway, I hated this flick when I first saw it, but it's better than I remember. Better than the first one, at least. Thanks to Kim Van Os for requesting this film. My mama. Yeah, I mentioned the story going to the theater with my brother. Yeah, super embarrassed. Taylor Lautner is super weak in this film. I remember seeing the trailer, and she's like, "Run, Jacob! No, no, no!" And then he jumps over her and shapeshifts. And the special effects in these movies are pretty damn good, save for Breaking Dawn. Everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. But the wolves, oh my god! And I love the wolves as characters in general. There's so many good storyline points. I do like that I had the whole like wolves versus vampires trope, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really mention what happened in the first one either. I just talked. So to catch you up to speed, Twilight is about a girl, Bella Swan. She's moving to what, Forks? Forks. Forks in. It's not Indiana. It's not Alaska. Twilight Meyer novel. Bella Swan is a 17-year-old introverted girl who moved from Phoenix, Arizona to Forks, Washington on the Olympic Peninsula to live with her father, Charlie Swan, the town's police chief. Shout out to Charlie Swan. Love that man. I would love a spinoff with just him. I don't care what he's doing. Charlie Swan is probably the best character in the entire, franchise. I agree with a lot of people. He's such a great character. He's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm here for it. Like, he's always there to help out. I'm glad that nothing bad happened to this man. I'd protect him with my life. He's a great man. Her mother, Renee Dwyer, is traveling with her new husband, Phil Dwyer, a minor league baseball player. What the fuck? Bella is admitted to Forks High School, where she easily settles in with a group of friends. A somewhat inexperienced and shy girl, Bella is dismayed by several boys competing for her attention. Yeah, everyone's like super into this awkward pale girl, and she's just like super like, I don't know, and like it's so unrealistic. Not very unrealistic, like guys are guys, but like everybody in like her friend group is just like kind of jealous. Anna Kendrick's in there, and she's kind of jealous of the popular, like the attention she's getting, which is like so fucking petty. It's like that whole point, like that whole thing in the book, and in the books and in the films is like so fucking unnecessary. Like, I don't care about any of these characters. I don't give a shit about any of these characters, and they never do anything. They never do a damn thing. They go out and they have a date, and then like that's it. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, but then Edward, they see her, and then she sees Edward. Edward sees her. That's the Cullen family. They're like the hottest family in school. They're so mysterious and hot. And oh my god, I think Edward's looking at you, and she's just like I kind of like him. There's a spell. I feel like the spell's being put on me. The vampire trope, like look into your eyes, and I can, yeah. But that's not a thing. I don't think that's not a thing. I don't think she just really, he's really staring at her because these vampires also have like superpowers, and his talent superpower is that he can read minds, but he can't read hers, and he's like super like, why can't I read hers? He's like, why can't I read hers? And so he's super, and then like they're in class, and then she looks at him, and he's just like, oh, like she's repulsive, and he's just like, oh, she's like, oh, now I'm super self-conscious, and he was like, no, it's like you smell too good, and I'm hungry. And yeah, the Cullens, they disappear like once a month on a family trip or something. Their home's abandoned, and then they come back like nothing happened. Someone asked a really good question. Why are they in high school? Like, why that cover story? They keep migrating to different places. Forks is perfect because the sun barely comes out. But why? Like, why are they? Why are they? Why are they posing as kids? Uh, what? And Edward grooms a kid. 17. Don't worry, don't worry. She ages up. She's 18. Don't worry, don't worry. You know, nothing weird about that. Um, it's super weird. I'm like, yeah, they did not have to be in high school. It's a weird, weird cover story, and all of the siblings are doing shit with each other. Yeah, they're super close and weird. Yeah, two of them are couples, and they're holding hands like openly and flirting and what? None of them really look related. Why her they were adopted? And it's like there's a lot of shit. Why? What's up? High school? The most gossipy part of anyone's life? High schoolers? And then we move on to New Moon, and New Moon was she's having a birthday party. I think it's her 18th birthday party. She goes in and she goes to like there's a letter opener. Or, no, it's paper. It's a card, and she opens it. And the way she opens it, she gets a paper cut. And she's like, "Ow, paper cut." And she's like, "Oh, it's okay." And she's like, And Jasper, who hasn't fed, and I love Jasper, starts flipping the fuck out and tries to get at her, and then they throw her down and throw him down, and they're like, Edward feels super guilty about that. He's like, I can't control my siblings around you. I can't control myself around you. And she's like, you've already been doing. What are you talking about? He's like, I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. I can't be around you. And he leaves. And then she's like having the worst time imaginable. Like just horrible. And she's having a terrible time. Just like it's months go by, she's like withering away. I'm like, this is come on now. I get your first. This is like your first real romance. Um, it's very accurate actually. Just like oh no, but it's pretty funny to laugh at. And then she goes ahead and she starts hanging out with Jacob, who's now buff now. She's like, wow, you really like fell down. He's like, yeah, I know. It's like, where the hell you been at, Loca? And I forgot that he said that shit. So funny. He's really fun in this film until the werewolf shit happens. And he's like, leave you alone, bitch. I don't like you. And, get out of my fucking face. And he's super angry all the time. I'm gonna fucking lose it. And it fucking turns into a fucking big ass wolf. And she realizes every time that she's in danger, a fucking manifestation, fucking ghostly apparition version of Edward is like, don't stop. Like, no, like, don't do this. And she's like, oh, if I like put myself in danger, then he'll like, because we're connected somehow. What the fuck? They never explain how that happens. It's not a plot point that's ever revisited. That they can do that. Or that he can do that with her. It's so weird. It's just for this book. It doesn't happen in Eclipse, Breaking Down Part 1 and 2, because they're not separated at the time. But even still, I'm like, what? Why would they ever do this? Like, it's so weird. Anyway, she goes ahead and is just putting herself in really dangerous situations. Jacob has to come in and help, and they're kind of developing feelings for each other. Then he has the whole I'm a werewolf, blah, blah, blah. And then they really like, this is why Team Jacob was a thing, right? it's really fun seeing them hang out and have fun. It's really nice. In the books, you're like, wow, they're really hitting it off, and she's having a normal ass relationship. This is completely normal. It's awesome. And then he's a werewolf, and it's like, it's cool that you have like a kind of, and but then he's kind of like abusive because he's like a year younger than her, and he's very immature and just kind of treats her like shit. At this point, it's like, oh no. And then the whole thing about imprinting, we'll talk about that shit. But his tribe, his family of shapeshifters, how it works is that you imprint on somebody. You lock eyes with this person that you're imprinting with, and you feel immediately. You're like, my other, that's my person. Even if they don't love me, I have to protect them. I have to, whatever. And Bella even straight up asked him, like, have you imprinted on me? And he's like, no. I would know. Trust me, I would know. And she's like, how would you know? He's like, I just would. And you could also make the claim that, she's kind of goading them on a little bit. I don't think so, though. I don't think that's what you meant to do. It's not super love triangle-y from her perspective, like playing both sides and playing them against each other. There is one point where she's kind of like, we'll talk about that with Eclipse, but I would say Eclipse is pretty weak too, honestly. The story of this one is stupid because he leaves to protect her, and then she gets into a lot of trouble. And then he calls, right? So this is hilarious. He calls, and he's like, hello, Taylor Lautner, Jacob, hello. He's like, no, they're arranging a funeral. And he hangs up. And Edward's on the other line, like, and just, no, I can't live without her. Don't you think you would feel that connection, like, sever or something? I don't know. Like, can't you, like, manifest yourself, like, don't, like, or just a check-in or whatever? It's so fucking, like, there's so many plot holes. And then Alice shows up, and she's like, oh my god, Alice, OMG, I missed you. I missed all you guys. What's going on? Edward's gonna kill himself. He's gonna kill himself by walking out into the streets of Rome, Italy. I think it's in Rome. It's in Italy, Venice, somewhere. Where it's super sunny. He's gonna go out, disrobe. Whoa. Everyone's gonna be like, "The fuck is this?" And then other vampires are gonna sweep up, grab him, take him, and then fucking kill him for trying to expose vampires to the human race. And yeah, that had Bella shows up just in time to be like, no, look, I'm alive. And he's like, oh my god. And then, but the Volturi is what they're named, the ancient ones, the ancient vampires. They want to talk to him and then see about this girl, what her whole deal is. And she's a human, but there's something different about her. And they try to perform their powers on her, torture her, all this other stuff, and they can't. They're like, she's a shield. Like, she's got her own powers. If she was transformed into a vampire, she'd be a hell of a vampire. And they talk about the possibility of turning her, and she's like, I want to be turned. And Edward's like, no, absolutely not. I would not make you live this life that I live. And it's like, but then he also talks about wanting to marry her and loving her, and it's like, it's a whole thing. We talked a lot about Twilight today, new moon and all that kind of fun stuff. See you next week for Eclipse. Take care, everybody.